This is a Shoesmiths podcast.
Hello and welcome to the latest podcast in our Perspective series. My name is Darren Cleveland and today I'm joined by Phil Crow, an employment partner in our Leeds office. Good morning to you, Phil.
Hello, how are you, Darren?
Not bad, thank you, not bad. So the issue we're exploring as part of this series is whether real estate has a part to play in helping the UK to address its productivity gap. And the report that we've based on this looks at a variety of angles, but Phil, your piece looks specifically at how we can use our offices to better stimulate our employees and how that can lead to enhanced productivity. So Phil, seemingly the UK has one of the least engaged employee populations in Europe, but what are the common reasons why employees disengage?
Well, I mean, employees are people, Darren, as you well know, and so it's difficult to give a one-size-fits-all answer to that because what engages one doesn't necessarily engage another. But what we do know is there are some common themes which seem to impact on the majority of employees. One which I don't think will come as a surprise to anybody is excessive workload. The more people have to do, the more pressure they feel under, the less they feel able to do it, and they switch off and become disengaged, and that's kind of made or impacted on negatively by tools and resources as well. The less tools an employee has, the less ability they have to meet that excessive workload. Again, that impacts on their engagement, and they switch off, so to speak.
Yeah.
There's also a number of other common themes which are told impact on engagement: training, opportunities for progression, and management support as well, both negative and positive. So employees tend to be engaged where they're supported, and where they're given feedback, and they'll accept negative feedback as long as they're feeling like their work is being recognized and considered and assessed to an extent, and helped, and they're helped to get better. So that can play a big part in it as well. And I guess pertinent to this audience is their physical surroundings. I mean, at the moment, our physical surroundings, as you can see, Darren, is my box bedroom. But in the normal course of things, where someone is working can have a huge and significant impact on how they feel about the business, how they feel about their place within the business, and how they feel and are able to do their job, basically. So a lot of things play into the bigger matrix of engagement.
Yeah, and I mean, environment is kind of hugely important, isn't it? And I suppose the shift to open plan working has accelerated in the last few years, and there are lots of benefits to that, of course. But are we now coming to terms with the fact that open plan may not be what it's cracked up to be, and the ramifications of that on productivity levels?
Yeah, I think we certainly are. I mean, I remember I started my training contract in 2004, I believe it was, and it was at that time there was a huge shift, particularly in solicitors' offices, to move away from a partner and a trainee sat in an office together, and that was your work environment. And I fortuitously only ever worked in an open plan office, but I remember it was the year before I joined that the firm I was at the time actually shifted to open plan. But I think the vast majority of office spaces are now that. But exactly as you say, Darren, there are pros and there are cons to that. And I think there are potentially more cons than people actually realize. And there have been studies done on this. And we're told that 40% of employees in the UK don't like open plan. They feel it increases their levels of stress. They feel distracted. They don't like the noisy environment, and they're concerned about the lack of privacy that open plan provides to them. So yes, it's got some fantastic benefits, and I think it's still the best type of work environment for employees and for engagement and for productivity. but there are issues that come along with that we need to be mindful of.
Yeah. So I guess what can employers do with their working environments to maximize output from their workforce?
Well, I mean, as I say, the open plan environment kind of lends itself to where you're all. Yeah, I don't want to use the phrase bear pit, but you're all in there together, aren't you? And so with that noise, with those distractions, with that lack of privacy, it can heighten stress levels. And with heightened stress levels, you have a huge knock-on effect for things like productivity. Again, back to my earlier comments, the more stressed someone is, I'm not going to go into the science of it because I'm not qualified to do so, but the more stressed someone is, the more distracted they are, the more likely they are to make mistakes, the less productive they become. So it's important that we tackle that and acknowledge it, really. And how would we do that? Well, again, it's back to my earlier point about not everyone is the same, so not one size fits all. You'll get some people, and you think about stock exchanges where everyone's on the shop floor and there's lots of shouting and raging going on, and people really get G'd up and benefit from that, and that makes them more productive. So for some people, the open plan environment is fantastic. It works perfectly. It's a great motivator. It's a great environment. They get the buzz from it, and it works great. But for others, sometimes they do need a quiet space. They need a library, a quiet room, a chill out zone, I don't know, a head down zone, whatever you want to call it. I think the key word, and this is often the key word, certainly from an employment law perspective, is compromise. You have to have the ability to allow employees to go into those different spaces to do those different tasks. And it might be the same person needs to be in a different space to do different things. I mean, from my own personal experience, I really like being in an open plan office. It's great to be around the team. It's great to hear what's going on. It's great to share ideas. But sometimes if I need to go down and sit down and draft a really long document, I need some quiet. And if people are on the phone or talking around me, I get distracted, and it heightens my stress levels, and it impacts on my ability to do that piece of work. So I'll take myself off. And fortuitously, we have these mixed environments at Shoosmiths, and I'll take myself off into a quiet room and do it there. And then once that's done, back into the hub and being around everyone. So it's, as I say, it's about compromise. It's about having those different spaces to give people the opportunity to work in the way they need to for that particular task they're doing.
Yeah, I think that variety of space is so important, isn't it? That the collaboration space, the kind of shared working space, the quiet space, so that actually, I mean, one of the challenges I kind of find, working from home this year so much is that, you end up sitting at the same spot all day long every day, and that's a challenge. And I should make more, but I think just go sit in different rooms and liven it up. But even getting out in the garden, I suppose, to read things and that kind of does help to energize you a little bit. I think.
I think you're exactly right, and again, that's hit the nail on the head, really, Darren, because not just the type of environment, but what's in the environment is key as well. So again, studies have shown that employees are more productive when they feel comfortable. And what dictates comfort? I'm not an interior designer by any stretch of the imagination, but the feedback we've seen is factors like ambient lighting, the right temperature. We'll all remember from the days in the office, the battles over the air conditioning, some like it hot, some like it cold. But getting that right removes that distraction and makes you more productive. But again, it's the ability to move around. It's the ability to see different people in different spaces. And often it's nice just to have, not quite like you might be able to hear now, my children running upstairs screaming, but that's some nice background noise, which helps with the stimulation of productivity.
Yeah, and I guess that also touches on employee well-being, which of course is a big part of this and an increasingly important factor for all businesses. But how exactly is well-being linked to productivity?
Oh, well, it's the two are one and the same, really. a happy employee is a productive employee. I think that's been a phrase that everyone's been aware of for years and years and years, hundreds of years, I would say. So the more happy and comfortable and secure someone feels in a work environment, the much more productive they're going to be. They're going to be great brand ambassadors. If they are happy in their work, they're going to spread that. They're going to tell everyone, I love working for company A, company B. It's great because, and that engagement, that feeling part of something you care about, by definition, makes you want to do more. It's about the discretionary effort that you do when you really feel passionate about something. It's like hobbies. If you love, I don't know, if you love fishing, you're going to spend an extra hour on the lake or the river because you love it. Same with loving your work environment. If you're happy and enjoy where you are, you're gonna put that little bit extra in. And we've seen that a happy employee, an employee who feels well in their environment, less absence, always on time, a real drive to succeed, a real desire to progress, move up the business, add a bit more to it, and that's great for operational benefits. But and I see this all the time, but from my perspective, it's also great because it really cuts down on negative HR time, and you're avoiding grievances, you're avoiding disputes, you're avoiding having to manage absence, you're avoiding churn, you're avoiding having to performance management people, you're avoiding having to dismiss people, and because all those problems disappear, you're avoiding potential employment tribunal claims, which is great, and it gives your HR teams the opportunity not to be firefighters, but the opportunity to be real strategic players in making that great work environment. So it's secular, really. A happy employee means that the employer can spend more time making them happy and making them more productive.
Yeah, the virtuous circle. That's
exactly
a great way to finish up. But so I mean, thank you for that, Phil. All great stuff. And that marks the end of this Perspectives series of podcasts discussing whether real estate really can help solve the productivity puzzle. If viewers would like to read more of Phil's and others' views, please do visit our website to read our report. For now, thanks again to Phil, and goodbye.